What is up, y'all? It is your boy KK back finally for a Thirsty Thursday talk. Today is June 13th. It has been a long time since I did a Thirsty Thursday talk. The last one was back in Florida when I was visiting Tom back in late April. And for those that don't know, or for those that do know, I still have a loss of smell and taste. We're going on almost 5 months. I'm about 20% back. Before I get started, I do want to wish Leanne her second heavenly birthday. So happy birthday to Leanne for tomorrow. You see me looking at my laptop. I have a lot to talk about today. Going to be talking to you about a recent home improvement project that was done at my house. As you know, I love light beer, and when I have light beer now, it tastes like absolutely nothing. Obviously, I know I'm not drinking water, but yeah, light beer is just not something I'm drinking a lot right now of. I dealt with this a couple years ago due to COVID, and I definitely upped my IPA drinking back then during it. When I have my full smell and taste, I do like IPAs from time to time. However, right now, an IPA is pretty much what I can taste, and I know I'm not 100% tasting it, but as far as the 20%, compare light beer to an IPA, it's a day and night difference. When I was in Hawaii with my mom, it would have been Leanne, but when I was in Hawaii, I drank just Hawaiian beers, and honestly, I wasn't very impressed overall. My highest rating was a 3.25 out of 5, and then I had 3 others that I rated a 3 out of 5. This is one of the 3 out of 5. It is Maui Brewing Company Big Swell IPA. It's tropical, 194 calories, 14 grams carbs, 3 grams protein. IBU is 50 and 6.8%. Obviously, there's not going to be a review of it, but cheers. And then this is what I got in Waikiki. I got the 1944 Mai Tai. And you got to keep the glass. Cheers. All right, prepare because it's going to be a long Thirsty Thursday talk today. But you know what? It's been a while, so maybe you guys missed me talking. I don't know. Probably not. So what was my recent home improvement project? Well, I got a new patio. But before, there was a small concrete section, and then there was a brick paver area, basically like an L-shaped, and then there was a small soil section then next to the brick section, and kind of in between the brick section, and then it was a soil section, and then it was the back room, or the sun room, whatever you want to call it, 3 seasons, 4 seasons. And I really was hoping not to exceed $3,000. The concrete area was nice, but then the brick paver area, which was probably really nice at one point, was just falling apart. I mean, it was very uneven. Some of the bricks were breaking off. It was very loose, very just not very, it just looked really shitty. Also, you had weeds growing through it. I give my credit to my mom because she would come over and weed that area, and it would look really nice. And then, a few weeks later, a month later, it looked like absolute shit again. I like being outside, and while I didn't need the patio done, I wanted to get it done, and it does add 8 to 10% home value. I did research if I wanted, concrete, stamped concrete, or the concrete pavers. Concrete was cheapest. Concrete pavers had a higher upfront cost, but they had better durability. But I decided to go with concrete as it was the most affordable, and I didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of pavers because eventually you're going to have weeds coming through them. Now you could say, well, Kelvin, all you got to do is take weed killer or remove them, but it's like I don't want that. It's low. The concrete, it's low maintenance and will last on average 25 years. Now, the information that I just said, I found via Google searches. So I had the first company come. I wasn't home. Now, they thought that concrete section was skim coated of concrete over the brick. So they quoted for removing the concrete pad, brick pavers, and for a new concrete patio. Now, I was in for sticker shock because they said $5,750, and I was like, woo! I'm like, look, I thought this would be no more than $3,000. Now I'm like, oh shoot. And then I was like, all right, can I get the price down? So I was like, all right, what if I remove the bricks? Which would have been a hassle because there's tons of bricks. But they did take it down to $5,300. They knocked $450 off. I'm like, okay. I had a second company come out. I met the guy. I really liked him. I thought he was very attentive, very professional. He knew what he was talking about, and actually disagreed with the first company. The first company thought that it was skim coated with, concrete over the brick, where he didn't think that was the case, and it was just a concrete pad. And he gave me the option that you could keep the concrete pad and then just add new concrete where the brick pavers were. But then I'm like, no, I might as well just get it brand new, everything. And then there's that step. So when you exit the back room, there's a step, and he also recommended removing that. You can't just cut down without needing a couple inches. So he recommended ripping that up, and then it just made sense. Just let's get rid of all the old and put all new in. Now, I don't have the original quote of that second company, but I think it was $67.50 and then like $200 for a sealer. So I think it was $69.50. I don't recall, but I think it was just under $7,000, and that's what we're going with. And honestly, I had a third company come out, met the guy. He was nice. His quote was $5,400. I really wanted to go with the second company. Now, even though they were the highest, I'm trying to figure out how I get the price down. So, I have a wooden deck, and the original patio exceeded the wooden deck by approximately 1.5 feet, slightly more than 1.5 feet. And I figured, why not make it equal? Let's have the deck, let's have the concrete patio end at the same area. Make it like a straight line instead of it being uneven. So I offered, how do I shrink my cost down? That was one option that I could do. And, he was very professional. He asked, what's my target budget? And, he's happy to work with me on the price, especially if I'm flexible with my timing, meaning they would do it when they had an opening in their schedule. So right then and there, you're able to work with me with my price. That's very much appreciative. Some companies could say, no, we're not going to, or we're going to do it only by so much, Now, my budget originally, like I said, without knowing everything, was like $3,000 max. Now I have to up my budget, which is fine. My budget range was in the $5,000 to $6,000 range. So there was an opening up, very fast and abrupt, a quote of $59.50 for the original dimensions. Now, I didn't want the original dimensions. I wanted the patio and the deck to end where they are equal to each other. So I did a little negotiating to do that. And then I wanted the sealer included, and I got it to be included. And I felt like I did a pretty good job. The total price was $5,750. I removed some of the bricks for my dad, and the rest they did themselves. So they removed all the bricks, they excavated the concrete pad. Now again, that concrete pad that they excavated, they told me that it was like a foot deep. I was worried that I was going to get charged extra because it did mention something about if it's more than so many inches deep, they could charge you extra. Thankfully, they didn't, which I'm very appreciative. I know it was really hard work getting that that concrete pad up, especially it being a foot deep. But I was charged $5,750. In the grand scope of things, I felt like I got a great price, even though, yeah, it was double than what I was hoping for. There's a lot of things that I didn't factor into it. I'm very happy about it, and it has been nice to fully enjoy it. But anyway, I hope y'all are doing well. I would be filming outside, but today it's pretty hot out, so I didn't want to be filming it and sweating, even though I sweat no matter what. But next week, it's supposed to be, at least here in central Pennsylvania, it's supposed to be in the 90s, low to mid 90s all next week. And I am not looking forward to that at all. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will catch you the next time I do one. Cheers.